I do want to point out a few organizations that are in the room today. So the two organizations that actually put this together is the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. And we got a lot of men in the crowd today, but we usually have these token males, and which are from the Chamber. And that is Kent Smith-Windsor, who is the executive director. He's the grand token male. And then he's got his two other guys there, Ryan and Kevin, and they actually are phenomenal in supporting me and coordinating and putting all these things together. So thank you from the Greater Saskatoon Chamber of Commerce. And then we have the Women Entrepreneurs of Saskatchewan. They came on this year to help co-sponsor this event as well, and a great fit for this event. So we have Trish Shoveldayoff, who's here with the Women Entrepreneurs of Saskatchewan in the front row. I would also like to thank Sarah Wheelwright with Trusted Saskatoon and Trusted Regina. She is our major sponsor of Shaken with a Twist. Of course, I always need to promote this lady. Love her. Cindy Zeski with Andrew Peller Estates. She was our wine host for tonight. Also, our appetizers are provided by Business Development Bank of Canada. And then the venue, Stephanie and Dan. Stephanie's probably somewhere in the back, making sure my volume on the mic's doing good. So thank you for this wonderful venue, Village Guitar and Amp. So with that being said, let's put our hands together and let's get shaken with a twist. So explain this sisterhood, literally what it means to Sandbox in the city.
Well, we are sisters, of course, and we come from a family of 5 siblings. I'm the youngest in the family. Coleen is the middle. And we have 2 other sisters between us and an older brother. So we were raised by our mom, who was, for the most part, she was a single mother. And we definitely, we didn't have the dream life. We came from nothing. We lived in trailers. Our dad wasn't really around, although he still maintained a little bit of connection with us as well. But he was a bit of he was a character, a bit of a wild card, you could say, and did a bit of drinking. So our younger life was a little bit chaotic. However, our mother was very grounded, and she kept us fed, clothed, inspired. That's pretty much the background of how we grew up. But I think Coleen and I became probably the closest of the sisters. I was the youngest, but I always kind of worshipped her, and because she was, I was always the one that
you wanted to wear her clothes.
No, it had nothing to do with that, because I was smaller than her. But
I'm starting something.
But I think the sisterhood just started as me being the younger one, looked up to my sister, and wanted to get into going out with the older crowd and all that sort of thing. So I always looked up to her. She seemed to have her stuff together. But that's my, I guess, philosophy on the sisterhood. So I don't know if you want to add anything.
So how do you, well, yeah, definitely speak on that. But also, I mean, you have a store full of women, right? And do you have family in there as well? Yeah.
Yes, we do. We have Juanita's daughter, Megan. She also works with us. And my husband, Curtis, works with us at the store as well. We're pretty casual. It's an interesting kind of space to be in when you do have family around, because a lot of times when you're in the store, people will think they're in our living room. We're bantering back and forth about things, and it's pretty relaxed, but everybody has a lot of respect for everybody and what they do and what they contribute.
So you've been in business for it's over 25 years, or around 25 years if you include your first start, which was Waskesiu.
Yes, my husband and I started that. It's been about 28 years, and we've since sold the Waskesiu store about 7 years ago. But when we were running that store, Wawa would always come up and, come to the store. She'd be shopping. and then suggesting, why don't we open up a store in Saskatoon? I'm like, there is no way I'm opening up another location. It's your life now as you know it is over. The business will consume your entire life. And she just kept at us and kept at us and kept at us. And finally, Curtis and I had made the decision that we were going to go ahead with it. And there was a few reasons why we decided to go ahead and open up a store here. First of all, our mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and so she needed more care. So for me and Curtis, we were living in Birch Hills at the time, and that was just too difficult for us to get back and forth. So long story short, we decided to make that commitment. Curtis and I and Abby moved to the city, and we saw this car dealership with, they had the oil pits still in the building that we were in before we moved, and we could see that this was going to be a great spot for the Sandbox.
What do you see, what is next for Sandbox in the city?
Well, we kind of have to figure out where we are right now and what we're going to do with that before we go anywhere else. But it's been a huge move, and we haven't even started to really tap into the things that we want to do in this new store. I know one of the things that we've always wanted to do was have more in-store events. So that's something we've already started. We've had a couple already. We've got a photography studio now upstairs, so we can do a lot of our online marketing up there rather than going to her basement or outside in the snow or everything. As soon as you have the idea, you can go upstairs and get it done. There's just a lot of the little details that we couldn't accomplish in the old store. We now see the big possibilities and the dreams coming to fruition.
Yeah. So one of the things that you were talking about in-store events and being involved in the community is one thing that I've noticed that you've been very involved in, whether it's the Princess Shop, which I thank you because I sit on that board, and as well as Silver Spoons, Saskatoon Women's Network, just to name a number of organizations that you've been involved with. Seems to have a women theme, but tell me a little bit about why is it important to give back, and in particular, is it chosen that you give back to women's type of charities, or?
I think it's just because we're women, and for myself, I was a single mother, and I know the struggles of that, and I always look towards people that are already trying to help themselves, and if they're already trying to help themselves, then why not give them a hand up? So if they're doing the work, then we can also commit to that, to giving to that as well. But I just think women, supporting women is a nice thing to see instead of trying to tear them down or being jealous. Or we really enjoy the competition of new businesses coming into Saskatoon and just seeing women thrive, and sometimes in a man's world, but just sometimes just in the world in general. It's just so nice to see them take a stand and make a statement and not be taken for granted. So I think that's why we choose those things, but a lot of times it's a personal connection. We have these women coming into the store, they support us, and we want to support them back. So it's just, we're closer to women, and that's who we deal with all the time. I'm sure if a man's organization came in and really wanted our help, if we could help in some way, we do the same, but we really haven't had that experience yet. So
is there any words of wisdom? You're talking about, people are wanting to come to you and say, okay, tell us what's the business about. And you're like, okay, sit down. Is there any words of wisdom that you can share with some of the men and women that are obviously in the crowd today, not necessarily in your field, but words of wisdom of when they're getting into business? What are some do's? What are some don'ts?
There's so many that, wow, there's a lot. But I would say one of the main things is to plan on doing the work and showing up to work, being there. Like, you can't give your business to somebody else and expect the same results that you're going to give that business. You can bring in staff that maybe share your ideals and your passion, but they will never give the amount that you will give. So it's not the big glamorous, oh, I own my own business type of thing. And if you're expecting to get accolades and, you know, awards, you're lucky if you get them. It's great, but it's really just showing up day to day and doing the nitty gritty work, and don't expect, you know, the moon and the sun and the stars right away. You really have to put the time and effort into it.
Well, my philosophy is no gardener, no garden. You got to be there to pick the weeds every day. Nita and I still mop the floor at the end of the day. So if you want to source everything out, you're not going to make any money. You have to show up every day. You have to be there every day. You have to do what you want your staff to do. They need to see you doing it.
Yeah.
I have some more.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I'm writing this. I'm not going to do well because I suck at gardening and weeding, but go on, carry on.
Whatever business you're getting into, you have to have a passion for it. You have to believe in it. You can't just say, well, you know, this product is going to make me a lot of money. If you don't believe in it, you may as well just close your doors, because you have to believe in it, and you have to keep reinventing yourself, your product, how you sell it. It's just kind of an ongoing thing, but you have to be super, super passionate about what it is that you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. So I always end this part of the question. There's more questions going to come, but this part is, I mean, this is really about talking to inspirational women in our community. And so my question to each of you is, who's been an inspiration to you? It can be personal, business related, whatever, but I'll ask each one of you to answer that.
Well, I have quite a few. There's not just one. There can never be just one. And seriously, I do get inspiration from everybody that walks in, everybody that enters my life. I get bits and pieces from everybody, even our window washer, Louie, who he's in rehab. He comes to us and he keeps coming back and he keeps going to rehab, but he always steps to the plate. He keeps the promises that he makes to us. He borrows money and he always pays it back. And I admire that. I think it's just like, wow. And he comes from nothing, and I mean nothing. But in general, of course, my mom is absolutely one of my inspirations. She was always happy with what she had, and she really had next to nothing, but she always kept a positive, demeanor, I guess you could say, always relatively just happy and just satisfied with life. And that's a big inspiration to me, because we're always in that mode of I need more, I want more. But I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. I believe that having peace of mind is the greatest success that you could ever have. Mm-hmm. Another one is Oprah. And I grew up on Oprah, and I swear to God,
that's just a given for everybody.
I know. And I've never missed an episode, and I always got those aha moments from her, and I repeat her quotes all the time. My sister is one of my mentors, so I would say she's been an inspiration as well. She's a business mentor. And then also a lot of my friends are mentors to me too. And I know I've mentioned this before, not to this group, but my friend Tanya, who had cancer, I just admired her. She was a single mom, and she just maintained such a positive, strength about her going through it that, I mean, it was one of the worst times of my life, because just watching and feeling, oh, how hard that must be. But I would have to say those are and of course my kids, and my husband, they always, but honestly, everybody has inspiration to give and to learn from.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, my mom, of course, no doubt. I mean, here's a woman who never complained, and I, honest to this day, never remember my mom ever yelling at me. Ever. Not once.
So you were the good child.
Oh no, I was the middle child, the forgotten child. But my mom, really, because she showed up every day for us. It didn't matter what was going on, and it's like Nita said, day in and day out, when you see people in the dressing rooms and they're just come from surgery, or they've had a mastectomy, or they're going to a funeral, or whatever it is, you just see women generally stepping to the plate every day. And we should all be inspired by what women do. And every day we go to work, we laugh, and we have cried at work in the dressing rooms with women and what they're going through. And I know people think we just sell clothes, but it ends up being more than that. And for women that are going into business on their own, it has to be something, like Nita said, that you're passionate about doing. But at the end of the day, it's my mom and my Peanut over there. She inspires me too.
Oh, what's the Peanut's name?
Abby.
Abby. Oh, yeah, you did mention her. Oh, fantastic. Yeah.
She's fearless.
When you go in my dressing room, you're usually trying to push me into my dress. And I'm crying. So that's the serious part, I guess, of the questions from my end. But I will now open it up to the floor to see if there's any questions out there that you would like to ask this sister duo.
No. Working on your business? No, we're hands-on. We are there every day. We unlock the door and we lock the door. We are on the floor every day.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Well, my daughter Megan has been with us since the beginning. But I think what our plan is to, slowly reduce some of the work days that we put in. I don't think either one of us particularly want to get out. Like, I think we like being at the store, and, we might take off if we can take off a month here or there, but our goal is to probably help her take over the major part of the business, and we will still keep our input, because I really don't know how she'd ever run it without us. To be truthful, it's a lot of work. Yeah, so definitely that's our goal, but there's nothing in the immediate future for us to, unless we can't walk anymore. I think, we've always had a good relationship from when I was younger. We're very, very different people. So we've learned that what we're good at, that's what we do. So I'm a bit more laid back than she is, and I take on some of the responsibilities that she doesn't like doing, like events and things like that, and more PR and the blog. And she does the marketing. She likes more behind the scenes things. But I think it just comes from learning the personality of the other person and knowing that no matter what happens, you still have the other person's back, that your intention is always good, even though it may get misunderstood or misconstrued. Or I think the bottom line is that deep down that person's always going to be there for you no matter what happens. And that's, we've had to learn that. I mean, we've had our struggles because, like I say, I'm the more laid back person. I just kind of, things that bother me don't bother her, and vice versa. And I honestly can't imagine getting into business with somebody that you didn't know that well. Because you really, unless you spend a lot of time with someone, you don't really know what their personality is. Mm-hmm. So we were kind of lucky that we already knew each other.
I think with Nita and myself, we have no, rivalry. We will tease each other, but we are not the kind of people that think that, oh, I'm right. I'm going to have to win this. I'm going to win this one. And we just don't do that. And you know what buttons will set somebody off, and we're respectful of those buttons. But I think, like, even when we're doing the buying, it's very seldom that we disagree. And yet you can even tell by the way we're dressed that we're very different. And so you have to understand that one is good at this, and you don't want to mess with that and start questioning what she does, and vice versa. But we do have an ability to banter ideas off each other. And if she has a good idea, she has a good idea. And a discussion. Well, at the end of the day, what happens is that our staff become part of our family. We have 4 full-time people, one of which is Megan, who is actually family. The other 3, now 5 full-time people. We treat them like they're our family. We get excited when they're excited. I don't know how to explain it. We can't get rid of them, actually. We have had 2 of our staff for 10 years in retail.
Oh, wow.
And
that is
the
huge.
other 2 are 5 years in, and all the rest of them have gone to school and moved on. So I don't know. Like,
I think because there's a lot of perks to working with us, and it's not just, clothes at a discount, but we really value their personal life and their personal goals. If they want time off, anytime, we try to make that happen. We don't say, well, you get 3 weeks holidays, and we always, always, always try to accommodate it, even if the business may suffer that day. We really try to make it happen, because really, in the big scheme of things, if you don't have a personal life, what is life? Work is work, but personal life is everything. And then we just value their talents, and we try to put them in roles that suit them. We don't make them do things that they're not comfortable with doing, and we don't set sales goals and that kind of stuff. We really believe that by helping people get and give what they need, that they'll do their job. Like, we never are on them. They could spend 2 hours with someone, and that person may buy one thing, but if that thing is something they needed and that they are going to wear and they appreciate, and they come back, and that's all we can ask for. And they feel good about that. And we feel good that they've taken the time to help that person. So we just, and we offer benefits. We try to realize that people, those expenses are they're a lot of money when you're, making a living, and you just have to be able to offer those. And we feel that for a retail company, we offer a good living wage. Like, we don't pay minimum wage. I think we do fairly well there. But we really care about them. We care what happens to them. We care about their family and their boyfriends and, all that whole drama. But once that drama, we hear that drama, it's like, okay, you get to vent for one day and then it's over. Like, back to work. Yeah. We just have high expectations, and then they realize that they should have high expectations of themselves as well.
Yeah. Well, that is the end of the formal part, but I always have a fun part, because that's who I am. I like to mix it up a little bit. And so I really want to get to know some of your sort of stuff that is kind of fun and funky here. So 7 revelations with Coleen and Juanita. So the first one is for Coleen. Favorite place you like to vacation?
that's a tough one, because I don't go on vacations very often.
You want to retire.
I want to retire, but so I like traveling better than taking a vacation. I'm too, I can't sit still. So I need to be doing something. So if you're vacationing and you're at the pool, now what? So I like to travel.
So if you were going to travel and sort of do, like, there's a lot of work in some traveling destinations. Where's one of your bucket list places to go then on a vacation?
I just went to one. It was Croatia and Portugal. Loved it.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right. Next, favorite thing to do in Saskatoon?
Sleep. I know I'm very boring. I hardly ever go out, but I love sleeping. Any chance I get, I sleep.
There you go.
I could sleep anywhere, anytime.
Comfy couch.
Yeah.
Let's keep her awake.
But I do like the Berry Barn.
Yeah. Okay. There you go.
I really like the Berry Barn. And I like going to concerts, outdoor venues.
Coleen, do you have a hidden talent?
My talents are, everybody knows what they are.
They're not hidden.
No, they're not hidden.
Okay, singing.
No. But if it's broken, I can fix it with duct tape and a bungee cord.
Oh, there you go. So you're a MacGyver.
I am.
For the older people in the crowd, they know what MacGyver is.
Yeah.
The young ones are
I
like,
can
what?
fix anything.
Abby doesn't know what MacGyver is, but your mom's a MacGyver. Give us your best style tip.
Oh, that's easy. I say it every day. If you don't love it, don't buy it.
So it doesn't matter what color or trend or what era, you just got to own it and love it. Okay. All right. And for you, what's your best style tip?
Probably dress for the body you have today.
Oh, yeah. That's a good one. All right. Now, this one's for you because I thought it was really, reading your bios were fun. And you love the 70s. You love the 70s music. And, I just watched Mamma Mia on TV with, Meryl Streep, and I was just totally loving the whole ABBA thing. And so you are a big 70s fan. You play a lot of 70s music. Isn't it one day, like they just play 70s music for you?
Well, it used to be on Saturdays. We'd play a lot of 70s. We still do, but sometimes it's 60s and 70s, and yeah, I love 70s.
Okay, so you love the 70s, and someone's like, and so what is your go-to 70s song? Like, if you had to pick one 70s song, which one would that be?
I could never pick just one.
Okay,
because there's rock and then there's dancing, but my number one of all time would probably be Stairway to Heaven.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that.
Or More Than a Feeling by Boston.
Oh, okay.
Rock.
So you're more of a heavy rock 70s.
I like it all.
I like it all.
Yeah.
Okay. Last one. Pet peeve.
How much longer do you have?
We got some gifts to give away, so...
Clutter. I don't like clutter anywhere.
So you're not a knick-knack person, and closets full of like clothes from way back and you don't wear it. Like, is that a rule? If you haven't worn something for a year, get rid of it.
Bye-bye.
Do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, you need to get rid of it.
Okay.
You need to let it go. Somebody else needs it more than you.
That's a good one. I like that. I think I can then do this. Awesome. Well, that is it. Thank you very much. The ladies, the sisters from Sandbox in the City.